How's it going, everybody? I am the Texas Man. Welcome back to the channel and to another video. If you guys have not subscribed, I highly consider you guys to do so. Those of you who have subscribed, thank you guys so much for doing so. And make sure you guys hit that bell notification button to get notified of any upcoming videos coming out here on the channel at the Texas Man. With that said, I know that at the time of me premiering this video, it's going to be really late, around 10:15 p.m. So I'm going to do my best to keep this video as short as possible with me reviewing Stargate Atlantis all 5 seasons. This has been something that's been highly requested. I actually had already done a review for this, and it was like 30 minutes long, so I promise you that it won't be as long as this. That video I did on Facebook. Unfortunately, I am still porting over what I can from my Facebook channel to YouTube, but because of uploading and processing problems, and YouTube and Facebook have different policies as to what music and whatnot can be made, I was able to put music into my videos on Facebook. Can't do that on YouTube because I get copyright claimed, and I don't want to deal with the legal system. So Stargate Atlantis all 5 seasons is one of those videos I couldn't upload from my Facebook to YouTube. So I'm just redoing it for you guys, so you guys can have Stargate SG-1, Stargate Atlantis, and Stargate Universe's review on my channel here on YouTube. I know there's a lot of other videos that I had made on Facebook, tried to port them over to YouTube, and they wouldn't work. For example, I didn't get my Clone Wars or Rebels or Star Wars episodes 1 through 6 out because of YouTube, or a lot of like my 007 reviews. So if there's a review that you're like, that's part of a series or a TV show that you want me to do, that, you know, you really think, hey, I'm pretty sure he did this on Facebook, why isn't it on YouTube, and I want to watch it again, that's the reason. I am willing to redo them. Just note that it's going to take me a while to watch everything, because between this and life and my job, I just don't have the time to do everything. So I hope you guys can all appreciate that I'm trying my best, and please be patient with me. Before we get into the Stargate Atlantis Season 5, all 5 seasons review, I just want to let you guys know that, like I just said, I'm porting over as many of my Facebook videos to YouTube, and I've been doing that for about 3 or 4 weeks. They'll be porting over still for about another week or 2, and then it'll just be me making YouTube videos. So hopefully by the end of mid-September, all my videos will have been completed from porting over from Facebook to YouTube. Some of them that I've already ported over, I just want to go through them, because I know for a fact YouTube has had a bug in the past week or so, where I'll put a video out and for whatever reason it won't hit your inbox even if you've subscribed and hit the bell notification button. I do believe that bug is fixed, so I just want to go over the videos that I have put out that I've ported over, in case you guys want to check those out and you're just like, how come he hasn't been putting out videos? I have been, it's just been a YouTube bug. So I've done a Phase 1, Phase 2, and a Phase 3 MCU rant. I ported over Saving Private Ryan, some trailer reactions with some friends, Doom 2016, Halo Reach, Alien Isolation, Quantum of Solace 007, Skyfall 007, Fireproof, Inside Out. Apparently this is the most liked and disliked video so far. Alita Battle Angel, Zootopia, The Shining, Stargate SG-1, the Stargate Universe, of course, The Court Jester, It 2017, Shutter Island, Jumanji, Angel Wars, Star Wars Episodes 7 and 8, all 8 Harry Potter films, so Sorcerer's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban, The Goblet of Fire, Order of Phoenix, Deathly Hallows, Half-Blood Prince, and Deathly Hallows Part 1 and Part 2. And there's a separate video for every single one of those. The Division 2, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Dark Phoenix, Forrest Gump, Dinotopia, Dauntless, Aladdin 2019, and let's see what else. Resident Evil 7, Angel Has Fallen. So those are the videos that are out in the next week or so. These will be the following videos that I'll be porting over from Facebook to YouTube. Black Hawk Down, Batwoman trailer reaction, Fear the Walking Dead Season 1, 2, and 4. I couldn't upload Season 2 because of copyright problems, So if you guys want me to, I will do another review for you guys. It'll have to be a brand new one on YouTube. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Rage 2, Natural Selection, all 3 movies of the Maze Runner trilogy, so Maze Runner, Scorched Trials, and The Death Cure. And there's going to be 2 parts for the first movie because of a storm that I was in when I was doing the video. So there's going to be a part 1 and part 2 for the Maze Runner, so be aware of that. World War Z, the video game, Halo 5 Guardians, Generation Zero, Star Wars Battlefront 2015, and Star Wars Battlefront 2017. Flushed Away, and I think that's it. So I was able to port over a good chunk of them. So just keep in mind to check those out if you haven't, that for the ones that are already uploaded, and keep an eye out for the ones that are uploaded. With that said, guys, let's get right into the video, of course, with Stargate Atlantis, Seasons 1 through 5. So, Stargate Atlantis is a very interesting show. I did not have any intent to watch this when it aired. I was like, okay, Stargate SG-1, it had a good 10 seasons. It had an introduction movie, and then it had 2 movies that ended up concluding it because they didn't have the creative minds to make a season 11 for Stargate SG-1, and I kind of think they needed to. It is what it is. Anyway, back to Atlantis. This show is good and it's bad. I've got a lot of positives and a lot of negatives for this show, and to be honest, when I was writing this review, I was like, man, there are so many things in this show that are awesome and amazing, and then there's things in this show that are so bad. And when I was writing down my notes while watching this show, I was just like, I don't know how I'm going to give this show a proper rating. Because there would be something that would be like, hey, this show is amazing, I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. Then there's something that happened in the next episode and it drops to a 6. And then there's something that happens in the next episode that would raise it to a 9. And constantly going back and forth. And I'm just like, you know what, this is really irritating. At least with Stargate SG-1, I think I gave that a 10 out of 10. Even though there's things in that show that drove me insane, they're minor, and they'll be minor for you. With Atlantis, there's clearly things that are good, and there's clearly things that are bad. With Universe, there's so much stuff in there that's bad that, like, if you could find a positive, like I was able to, it was like, that was amazing, that was a positive. Atlantis, it's clear what's good and what's bad. Now, that's not so much a good or a bad thing, but I'm just like, oh, it really hurt me, and it really made my job difficult to do this review. But I think I got it down pretty well. So I'm going to start out with positives and then work my way to the negative side. So for positives, this show takes place during Stargate SG-1. Now you might be thinking, how is that a positive? You can watch SG-1 and then start watching Atlantis and start like doing flip-flop episoding. So that's kind of a cool thing. With Atlantis, it introduced tons of new aliens and planets and human factions that have never been mentioned and we've never seen in the Stargate universe. No pun intended. And that's a really good thing. Everyone in this show is in constant danger. So you're never sure who's going to live and who is going to die. I mean, I believe it's in the first episode, they step through the Stargate at the SGC and they go to Atlantis, and they're like, I'm like, Atlantis is underwater. What problems could they possibly run into when they step through that gate? And throughout all 5 seasons, you never feel like there's a moment of peace. And the only time that you actually see the actors and the actresses ever being able to breathe and relax is like immediately after a battle or when they're taking a lunch break. And half the time their lunch breaks gets interrupted by something. So that's kind of an interesting thing. Next for positives, this show has a lot bigger and a lot grander scale gunfights and space battles than SG-1. SG-1 had a lot of cover-to-cover battles, a lot of investigating, a lot of world building, exploring planets and whatnot. And then it wasn't until I believe season 7, was it? I think it was 7 or 8, season 7 or 8, that the Stargate universe started to, go into Star Wars territory, if you will, with space combat, space battles, and whatnot. We had the big battle of Antarctica, and Atlantis kind of decided to broaden that, where there's a lot more of the space battles, and the gunfights are much cooler. It's not so much just walking through Gould motherships. There's underground tunnels. There's just a lot more stuff to it. The Wraith design and their alien background, I think, was cool. How they designed the Wraith to be so terrifying was also really cool. Next, Colonel Samantha Carter is in this show. General O'Neill is in the show. And Woolsey. Woolsey's in this show. That's all I'm going to say. So it was cool to see some characters from the SG-1 show up. Hi, Ruby. Show up in the show. I do believe Dr. Jackson shows up in an episode or two in this show. I could be mistaken. Sorry, there's a cat behind me. Maybe she's got a cold. Yeah, I believe Dr. Jackson shows up. I don't think Tilk is in the show. He might be. Correct me if I'm wrong. Leave a comment in the comment section below if Tilk's in the show. I think he's in the show, and he's giving Samantha Carter a hug goodbye as she's heading towards commanding Atlantis in season 4. I think so. It's been a long time. Next for positives, and this is also going to be a negative also, but we'll get to that later. The replicators return. The replicators are back. McKay and Ronan are the best characters in the entire show by far, and they have the best story arcs. You're more than welcome to agree or disagree with me on that if you wish, but to me they do. The rogue human, I don't remember his name, but we get the rogue human from Earth, and he ends up becoming part Wraith and part human. He kind of becomes like a bounty hunter. It kind of reminded me of like Boba Fett from Star Wars, just without the jetpack and the Mandalorian armor. But he kind of reminded me of that in that sense. There's a good amount of time travel episodes where, like, there's one episode I remember fondly where one person that's on the Atlantis base, he ends up time traveling like 3,000 years into the future. I'm just like, okay, because a lot of times we get time travel episodes and they send you to the past. And with Atlantis, they decided to do something really cool where they sent you to the future, and I'm just like, yay! And it's not all, rainbows. For more positives, we actually end up getting to learn that Atlantis is an ancient starship, and the ancients, of course, are the people that designed the Stargate system, so that was kind of cool to learn that. And lastly, for positives, I kind of had a gut feeling that Dr. Weir was never going to survive all 5 seasons. I just knew. I'm just like, you're a scientist. You're a nerd. And yet you're trying to be a military commander. I'm like, those two things don't work together. I'm like, the moment her character was on screen, I'm just like, I'm waiting for you to die. When are you going to die? And then when she did die, I cried a little bit. And I had a gut. My gut just hurt. I'm just like, no! No! You end up becoming a replicator! No! And then she ends up killing herself along with a bunch of other replicators. So at the same time, that was a good thing. For negatives. My goodness sakes. First of all, let's start light. This show has not as many episodes in the seasons. Stop, Ruby. There's not a lot of episodes. There's not like 22 episodes in every single season. Some do. Some have like 20. Some have like 18. So there's not as many episodes. Next, this show, Stargate Atlantis, has a lot of familiar and similar parts to SG-1, like having a 4-man team where you've got the military man, the scientist nerd, the strong dude that just wants to, kick your ass if you're mean to him. And then, you know, you've got the quote-unquote doctor. And I'm just like, yeah, originality. Gone. Next, like I said earlier, it was cool to see a lot of Stargate SG-1 faces make an appearance. However, it requires you to know your SG-1 stuff to understand what's going on at Atlantis. So you can't watch Stargate Atlantis, just like you can't watch Stargate Universe. You can't watch Stargate Atlantis without having seen Stargate SG-1. So you can't consider Atlantis its own show. That's a problem. If you don't know who Carter is, O'Neill, Jackson, or Tilk, and you see all these characters on screen, you're like, why should I care about these people? So, yeah, that's a problem. Many episodes in Atlantis are straight off rip-offs from SG-1 episodes, and there's only some differences. There are certain episodes, especially in season 2 and 3, that I'm just like, I watched them and I'm like, I think I've seen this before. And I watched them with my brother and my mom, and they're like, didn't we watch this in like SG-1? Like, are we sure we're watching a different show? And I'm like, yeah, we are, but they're tweaking it just to call it another episode because they needed to fill up this slot for this week with an episode somehow. Yeah. The Wraith are supposed to be the big bad guys in this show, but they're nothing more than creepy vampires. I'm sorry, but the Wraith in this show, they are not menacing at all. They try to be. They try to make them evil and more vicious and violent than the Gould, but I'm like, with the Gould, I believe them. They had more terrifying motives for wanting to take over the universe. The Wraith are just complete jerks, and they're idiots, and they're just vampires that suck your blood out with a hole in their hand. I'm like, I know you're going to get your asses kicked. Please. Next for negatives. Oh. This is the thing that drives me the most insane in Atlantis when this happened. This is the biggest negative of all. The replicators returning makes no sense if the bomb in SG-1, the show, worked to kill them all. Please explain to me why when they wiped out all the replicators in Stargate SG-1, why didn't that shockwave travel in to the universe where the Atlantis base is at? Why did it not wipe them out? There's no reasoning. If there is, let me know in the comment section down below, because I honestly don't understand. How did they survive? And it's only on like a small planet. There's not like an entire galaxy of them. There's just one planet. This show doesn't have a proper ending. The Atlantis base landing on Earth does not count. Okay? The show just it suddenly just came to a halt. So that's why when they said that they're working on another Stargate show, a proper Stargate show, let me mind you, where they were going to combine everybody from Stargate SG-1, Atlantis, and the universe, because Stargate Universe doesn't even have an ending. It just had a bigger cliffhanger than Atlantis. They need to have a fourth proper Stargate show where it ties in everything from SG-1, Atlantis, and universe, puts it all into one awesome super event, kind of like Avengers or something. That would be awesome. And even if it was only one season with like 8 to 10 episodes, that would be grand. Uh-oh. Just had a power outage. Alright, well, that's fun. Hope you guys can see me. So, I'm going to try to wrap this up. So, here we go. I'm sorry, guys. Power outage just came out of nowhere. So, there are too many characters to remember for a lot of people. And, this show stays dark so much that you're going to rarely laugh or rarely cry. So, yeah, keep that in mind. Also, there's really nobody that you're going to like 100%. I mean, yeah, there's some people that you might get attached to, but there's no one that you'll really get to latch on to 100%. Like, I don't know, Richard Dean Anderson / Colonel O'Neill. Just, there's nobody in that. There's nobody in the Stargate Atlantis show that's like that. And then lastly, this show is honestly a lot more tedious to watch than the last 2 to 3 seasons of Stargate SG-1. With that, guys, I'm going to give Stargate Atlantis an 8 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys all have an amazing day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys. Man, this power outage did not help my situation.